Having a baby and your career and your own personality and lifestyle, can you actually have it all? I'm going to kick this off with a statistic that I recently read. Okay, and here it is. Okay, I typed into Google how many women go back to work after maternity in the UK. I was just curious, like how many women have their life, right? They have their career, then they have a baby, but how many of those do come back? The answer, literally in bold, 29%. Fewer than 1 in 5 of all new mothers and 29% of first-time mothers return to full-time work in the first 3 years after maternity leave. This falls to 15% after 5 years. 17% of women leave employment completely in the first 5 years following childbirth, compared to, wait for it, 4% of men. So 17% of women do not work for 5 years after having a child, in comparison to maybe 4% of men who then choose to not go back to employment in the first 5 years of having a baby. Now, you tell me if there is still a disparity in any industry when it comes to men and women choosing to have a family and the decision and the choice between who goes back to work. Now, on this topic, I've got someone who is very brave and willing to share her own personal journey of what it means to have it all, and how she went on maternity with a thriving business that I knew of her. So I knew she was already having a huge success in her career and a huge success in her business with a large team. And she then became pregnant. She got married similar time around me, like got married at a similar time to me. Then she went on to have a baby and has come back from maternity. So without further ado, I want to bring this long lost friend, because it's been a while since we've spoken actually, and I cannot wait to catch up with her. And we're doing it under stressful circumstances because we are actually recording our catch up on this show for you. So I'd like to welcome everybody back to the Money Honey podcast, and my guest as well, who I will introduce in just a second. But if you are new to the Money Honey podcast and you're wondering, what are we talking about here? This is the show that I basically founded about 14 to 16 months ago. And it's about this is a safe space to bring women from all typical male trade industries. Okay, so that's my niche. So it's about bringing women from property, from finance, from construction, from accounting, from law, all those women that perhaps feel like they are the minority in those so-called male trade industries. And this is the safe space. This is the podcast for women to come along and either tell their story and highlight the amazing stuff that they're doing in the industry, or to come and hear from other women and see what is possible and really learn from other people's talents. So today I've brought a very talented lady here for you today, who is talented in her own right as she is as a person, and is now also a talented business owner and mother. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Anna Gustin from Umbrella Protect. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Rose. Thank you for such a nice intro. Oh, I'm blushing. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, so a lot of podcasters record their intros separately from the conversation with the guest. And I found from day one that I really enjoyed the guests to hear their podcast intro, just to get them ready for the show. So I'm glad you feel good.
That was very nice, very pleasant. Yes, hello and welcome.
Good. Welcome, Anna. So you have a very interesting message that you'd like to share with us all here today. But before we dive straight into it, give us a little intro about who it is that you are and what you do.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Ross. So my name is Anna. I'm the founder and managing director of Umbrella Protect Limited. We are directly authorized business based in both London and Belfast. We have 2 branches at the moment. and we are protection specialists. We do protection advice. We also we do have our mortgage arm, and we recently started doing will writing. We launched will writing department. Actually, it's a sister company, Umbrella Protect Wills. So I'm running together with my business partner. We are running 3 businesses at the moment. It is Umbrella Protect, Umbrella Mortgages, and Umbrella Protect Will Writing. So let's call it Umbrella Group. Everything started in 2015 when I founded Umbrella Protect after working in the industry for 4 years as a protection advisor. I come from Poland originally. I moved to London when I was 19 to study. I went to university. I studied translation and linguistics. However, already during my kind of like translation course, I realized that, well, it's not for me. I found it very boring. And I was recruited. Actually, how I started in the industry is an interesting story. I was 20 years old, and I was working for telecoms brokers based in East London. And I was selling telecoms packages to businesses, like, mobile phone packages. Yeah, you can imagine me walking around businesses like, oh, what network are you using? Here is the latest iPhone. Yes, so just literally cold calling. And I sold to this business. They were based in 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭 Business Park, in beautiful business park, very modern. I remember walking there, meeting the director of the business and just being so inspired. Like, I looked into their offices and I was like, oh my God, what it would be just working here one day, just being part of this world. I was very, very much inspired. And I got them as a customer. I sold to them. They bought from me. And during one of the meetings, he just offered me a job. He was like, Anna, come and work for us. We need you in our team. And I was like, but you guys do financial advice. I know nothing about finance. I'm just basically not very good with maths. And, I'm people's person. I can go and talk to people, but I know nothing about finances and financial advice. And he was like, no. We need you. We need people like you, and we'll teach you everything. Don't worry, we'll teach you everything. So yeah, this is what happened. It didn't happen straight away. It took them a good few months to convince me to come and join them, because I was just very much afraid. I was so young. I was 20 years old. I was still at my university. Interestingly, my ex-partner, my ex-boyfriend at that time, he wasn't supportive. He was like, you in finance? Anna, come on, you know nothing about finance. Like, come on, like, get real. That was his reaction when I told him about the offer. Back then, I already knew that, okay, he's gonna be my ex.
I love that. Tell me about a moment when you knew your ex was going to be an ex. And
yes, literally, that was the moment. Like, you know what? And it motivated me, actually, hearing his reaction, like, you in finance, get real. Like, you know nothing about, like, you can't do it. That was the moment that I was like, oh, maybe I can. And
wow.
A few years later, I'm working there, became protection advisor. Then I passed my 𝐸MAP qualification, so I became mortgage and protection advisor. I then went ahead and done my diploma level 4 qualifications, which means that I'm, pension and investments qualified advisor. Although I don't actually advise on pensions and investments because it requires, totally separate permissions, as you can imagine. But here it is, diploma in my office and on my business card. And obviously it's just, makes me feel good about myself that I'm qualified and I know what I'm talking about when I'm advising people. Yes, fast forward at the age of 25, when I was working for this company, this protection advisors, I just realized that I wasn't very happy. I wasn't 100% happy with quality of their work, if I can say. Like, I wasn't happy how they basically approach the industry and the customer and everything. They were focused on quantity rather than quality. They just wanted sales, just this kind of like pushy sales environment. Interestingly, and I just left them because I said to myself, I can do it better. I was actually approached by a few colleagues of mine from that team, and they said, Anna, just go ahead, set up your own business, and we'll go and work for you. That's kind of also interesting, right? That actually people came to me and said to me, Anna, you should leave, you should start your own business, and we will be happy to leave and go with you and work for you, go work with you. It took me about a year to make this decision, because obviously it's a very, very difficult decision to leave a business, also at the very, very young age of 24, 25. But I just knew that this job can be done better. And since the first day we started, our focus is on quality. We want to offer quality, holistic protection advice, insurance advice to everyone. We work with single mothers, just who can just afford 10, 20 pounds life insurance premium, and that's their priority. And with large businesses, insuring the whole business, shareholders, business owners, their employees. Yes, so fast forward 9 years later, we are a multi-advisor firm spread across the UK. Proud to say, very well recognized, well known in the industry. So yeah.
Yes, and honestly, and I can vouch for this team at Umbrella Protect, because I've had the pleasure of being able to call you guys, even though it was a while ago, a client, like someone that I've actually had hands-on experience with. I've been in your offices, I've met your people.
Yes.
We did a bit of work around getting your team members motivated for social media, right? Because you've always been so natural at sharing your stories and sharing content on LinkedIn, and you brought me in to inspire your team to do the same.
Absolutely, yeah. It was amazing. And I definitely want to do more with social media. I really have to focus on this year. I really want to go and start doing more on Instagram, perhaps speaking with mothers and young families. Yeah, that's my goal now.
Oh my gosh, I can see you. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok are going to be like the place for you. That this is where your ideal customers are. Like, it's great that your LinkedIn has been growing amongst the industry. I think you've got I know you have a phenomenal name, both as Anna Gustin and Umbrella Protect. You have a great reputation. You're very well known in the industry. And LinkedIn is great if you want to build more, those corporate clients and those corporate businesses. Definitely smash LinkedIn for that. But I think if you want to empower more families and mothers and things like that,
everyday people, stay-at-home moms and working moms and young mom, and like everyone. I really want to just obviously, since I became a mother, since I became mom, I just have this passion now towards working with moms and young families. So I really, really want to focus on that.
And we're definitely going to dive into that now, about your transition into motherhood now. But yeah, I think this is exactly what I love about Umbrella Protect, and why we got on so well so quickly, is because we both have that same mission. Like, Manuka Media is born because we wanted to make money and protection and property more normal, more accessible, and more reachable, like more within reach for everyday society. Like, I felt like only the middle class and the upper class and only the few had a financial advisor. Whereas actually everyone should be having a financial advisor. Everyone should have a financial check, a review. We've literally just had someone else on the show who was speaking about getting comfortable with talking about money and reframing debt. And so look, we spend a lot of time as adults at work, and we spend a lot of time trying to earn money and then trying to spend money. So we might as well do it educated, right? We might as well do it with an education that we don't get at school. So So I love that
100%,
mission.
100%. I can tell you, well, speaking from my experience, and it is now 13 years experience as an insurance protection advisor here in London, I can tell you this for sure. Whenever I'm speaking with my customers and I'm advising them on all matters protection, they are always fascinated, interested, and very often I meet with a reaction like, oh, I didn't even know that people like you exist and we don't pay you anything. And is your advice? So when I say my advice is for free, you don't pay me. You don't pay me for my time. You don't pay for my advice. You don't pay for this meeting. How I'm being paid? I'm being paid commission from an insurance provider once you have the insurance in place, right? Obviously, I don't do this work for free. It's not a charity work. I do get paid, but obviously I'm being remunerated by the insurer, right? And you don't have to pay me. Very often people are like, oh, really? I didn't even know that people like you exist. And believe me, Ross, sometimes I'm speaking with very, very successful, educated people, corporate world, City of London, successful business women. I spoke with this client recently. She's exactly that. She's a lawyer. Her husband is a lawyer, both living in West London, working in the City of London, high net worth. So you can imagine the client profile. And after 1 hour consultation with me, she said to me, Anna, I didn't know that products like that do exist. She never heard of critical illness cover. She never heard of income protection. And she was like, I didn't even know that people like you exist. I only thought that how I can get insurance is only from my work. So whatever my worker will offer me, this is what I get. And so can you imagine, she actually thought that this is the only sort of like access to insurance. And Ross, we're talking here about a very well-educated, high net worth from London.
Yeah.
I mean, and she was like, thank you so much for your time. She was so grateful for my time and for my advice, because obviously she didn't even know that people like me do exist. Speaking of protection gap and, just a knowledge gap. So obviously education, but it's all about just meeting people, getting to people. And how I met her on one of the mommies groups, via WhatsApp group with local mummies. We were just totally chatting about something else. And then someone has asked something about private medical insurance. And I was like, oh, actually, I'm an advisor. I advise on insurance. Do you want to speak with me? I met her on one of the local mummies groups.
Amazing. Well, that's networking opportunity there.
So, it's not a lead that I bought. It's not an introduction from a mortgage broker. It's not via, it's not a lead generated via my website. It is a lead generated just by myself, because I was brave enough and I had the guts to basically go out there and say, hey, I'm an insurance advisor. This is what I do for a living. Come and speak to me and I can tell you more about those things for free. Yeah,
I love that, Anna. And that's exactly when we say we want to help make money and protection and property more accessible to everyday people. It isn't just about posting on social media and be like, hey, we're on social media. It's about talking to real people.
It's about, like I say, walk your talk, right?
Yes,
Sorry,
exactly. Yeah, walk the walk. Yeah, absolutely get that.
Walk your talk. It's not only about doing one nice post a week on LinkedIn saying, oh, I'm the best, I'm this, that, the other. Actually, no, then just go and action it, right?
100%.
Put it in action, yeah.
Exactly that. And you are an action taker. Now, we just briefly glossed over the point that you have become a mother, right? And actually, the last time I met you, you were getting married, and then you went on maternity. And I've been watching your journey from afar, watching your lovely holidays, watching your beautiful baby grow up. And I would really like to start the conversation now around, can you really have it all?
Yes.
Because a lot of women are fearful of starting a career that means a lot to them. That's usually their first baby, right? I know that Manuka Media and the Money Honey podcast and my book and events and everything that I do feels like my baby, especially because it saved my life when I thought I had nothing and I lost everything. So I have a lot of emotional connection to my business. and it provides a nice lifestyle, a nice life, and a nice space for me
security and independence, financial independence. Yeah.
Joy, everything, I have to say. But there is a calling for many women to have the career and also become a mother without sacrificing everything else. So can you have it all?
Yes, well, I mean, very good question. Okay, so let me tell you briefly my story into motherhood and obviously now being a mom. So yes, I got married 2 years ago. Actually, today is my wedding anniversary.
What?
Yes, it is today. Oh my God, I just realized.
What the hell is going on?
Yes, 29th of May. I got married 29th of May 2022. Yes, we're going out for dinner tonight with my husband. And yes, we have a nanny. The nanny is looking after the baby, so we can go out. Yes, Ross. So I got married.
Oh, congratulations. Sorry, just congratulations first on your wedding anniversary, because we got married at similar times. I got married in July, so
you got married in July.
Soon.
Yes.
Yeah, and I remember us talking about
both of us talking about wedding planning.
Yeah, I remember. Amazing. But yeah, please tell me your
so
transition.
Yes, I got married 2 years ago, exactly 2 years ago. Funny. And literally 3 days after the wedding, I found out that I'm pregnant, that we are expecting. So it was a big surprise, but also a huge joy. But I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared, and the business wasn't ready. Or maybe I thought that, it wasn't ready. It turns out that it was ready. Funny enough, how you said, about feeling like your business is your baby. It is 100% me. I also do feel like Umbrella Protect, it is my baby. I created it. I started it. It's basically born from sweat, tears, as you know, at the very beginning, working, 14, 15 hours a day, working weekends, doing everything, doing every possible job role in the business. Yes, obviously I went through all that. So kind of to summarize it, for me, it was very hard to even stop working and to go for maternity leave. It's quite funny because actually my team would love listening to this now, because they were kind of like pushing me to go, but in a positive way. So I was due on the 20th of January to give birth. And I said to my team, okay, I will stop working at Christmas and I'm not coming back after Christmas. Guess what? No, it didn't happen. I ended up working till the very last day. And my team was like, in January time, I was booking team meetings and Zoom meetings and management meetings and doing it all and coming to the office every day. And everyone was just like, Anna, what are you doing here? Anna, shouldn't you be going off for your maternity? Anna, is your hospital bag packed? Funny enough, I haven't even packed my hospital bag, Ross. I was 1 week. I'm only telling you this because I want to share kind of like how difficult that was for me. I wasn't ready to leave. I wasn't ready to go. I wasn't ready to start my maternity. My hospital bag wasn't packed, and I was 1 week after my due date. I was such a mess. I was just like, I'm not ready. I cannot have this baby, because I was literally talking to my belly like, please wait 1 more day, 2 more days, because I still have to do this and this and this at work. I was procrastinating. Procrastinating packing my hospital bag. I was actually, the labor started 10 p.m. At midnight, I'm having strong contractions and I'm packing my hospital bag with my husband, because this 1 week after due date, this is how it was. That's the reality. I don't want to sugarcoat it here and say, yeah, it's all amazing. No, it was very stressful. And my team was literally pushing me, Anna, go for your maternity leave. You need to take a break. You deserve it. And everyone was, we are ready. We've got this. Anna, you don't have to do it. Just delegate. So yeah, this is how it was. It was chaotic. But just to summarize, few obviously important decisions that I've made. As soon as I found out that I'm pregnant, that I'm expecting, I was like, okay, I will need a maternity leave. And obviously I'm doing so much in the business. I need to hire a general manager. So very good decision. As it turns out, I did hire a general manager. And I hired an industry friend of mine. We used to work together back in the days. I knew him. I knew that he's great. I knew that he's going to be a great replacement for my duties, for my role. And it just happened that he was basically searching for a job. He was on the market, he was recruiting himself. So I did hire a general manager who turned out to be obviously amazing and huge help and huge asset to the business. He's still with us, although I came back from my maternity leave in January. I didn't kind of say, hey, now I'm back, thank you very much. No, because I knew that, it's not going to be like, first day and dive straight into being, full-time, 100%. So he's still with us and he's still doing most of the jobs or tasks, but it is great because I delegated to him all the compliance, admin, complaints, just FCA reporting, financial reporting. So he's doing all that, let's say, compliance, financial important bits, which means that I can focus more now on, marketing, PR, speaking with clients, business protection, recruitment development. So more kind of, let's say, what's the word,
like operations
and also creative, because I see my role as more of creative, like I want to create and I want to just basically be out there speaking to people, advising people, seeing people, rather than back office, administration, compliance. No, I just don't feel like it's something that I should be doing. But anyway, going back to the maternity. So yes, I did hire my general manager, who turns out to be great and amazing. And my whole management team just basically did amazingly well during my maternity leave. At first, I said I will take 6 months, but I was like, guys, let's just review it in June. June came, baby was 6 months old, Clara was 6 months, and was I ready to go back? No, I wasn't. I was still very much like at home with her. Well, I mean, I was breastfeeding, and I will be honest with you, the very important bit is feeding the baby, because if you are breastfeeding, then obviously you will be kind of more needed more, right? If baby is on a bottle, then it's easier just to obviously delegate the childcare and go back to work quicker, right? However, I was breastfeeding. It was working for us great. It was important for me that this is the basically the chosen way of feeding her. So that's why I extended my maternity until October. So about 9-10 months of maternity leave, then I hired a nanny and I started coming back to work maybe like 1 day, 2 days during kind of like October, November time, just to slowly catch up with things. Then December came, obviously longer Christmas break. And now from January, I'm back on full time. We have a nanny. I found, I must say, I'm very kind of like lucky with people, with just basically finding the right people at the right time. But I believe it's law of attraction. I believe obviously in, law of attraction, universe will give us the best. We will always find the best, and we'll get the best for us that we need at the right time. We just have to believe in that. And we have to think positively. Like whenever I thought in September time, I need to find a nanny, I was sending those strong signals to the universe. I need a good nanny. I need a good nanny, thinking about it actively, intensively every day. And then I found an amazing nanny. She looks after our baby. She also cooks for us. She helps with household duties. So she's actually a huge help for me. So yes, I found an amazing nanny. She's with Clara at home. Clara is at home, which is great. She doesn't have to go to nursery. I believe that she's still too little to be sent to nursery. I want to avoid nursery for now. And I can go back to work. I can be back at work full time. But it wasn't easy, it wasn't easy. Even during my maternity leave, obviously I was taking some business calls. I was doing some Zoom catch-ups. The way it worked, so for example, let's say I took her for a long walk. I took my baby in a pram to a park. During her nap, I'm like, okay, she's asleep. Great. I've got 1 hour, maybe an hour and a half. And I literally had a list on my phone, to-do list, people to get back to or calls to make. And I was just calling, it was either my general manager or my business partner or someone from my admin team. And I was making some calls just to catch up, just to discuss some important, I don't know, let's say decisions that needed to be made. And what else? Sometimes she fell asleep in the evening for, bedtime, and I would just sit down to my emails to check my emails. It wasn't easy because obviously you are exhausted. Looking after a newborn, it is exhausting. She didn't sleep well at night. She kept waking up. I was breastfeeding through the night. And then, 7 p.m. she goes to bed. You are exhausted. You want to go to bed too because you are just knackered. But no, you really want to sit down to your emails just to, check a few important emails or reply to a few important things. But, again, it's your business. So you don't really feel like, oh my God, you don't feel like you have to do it. You want to do it because equally it is also your baby. So kind of like you're looking after one baby during the day. And then when my little baby is asleep in a pram, safely asleep for bedtime, I really want to just log in and check on my, second baby, which is my business. But it's really hard. It's not really like, let's say you work for big corporate on an employed role, you go off for maternity, you log off for a few months and just like you off, right? You are not completely off, I was breastfeeding and I was checking my, work emails or WhatsApp groups, just like, trying to be up to date. Or I was just laying down with her, she's sleeping on me, contact naps, and I'm on LinkedIn checking what's happening, just want to see, hey, let me see what's happening in the industry, what's the latest, what's the latest news. I was reading industry articles. It's an interesting journey, Other moms, they go for play groups, they go to meet other mommies, or they just constantly, whatever they checking online on Instagram is just basically parenting and baby, channels, profiles. I wasn't that. Whatever I was reading, it was my industry news, industry channels, right? I wanted to stay up to date with everything. Someone has asked me, what kind of like mommy groups are you doing? Are you attending? During that time, we were also looking for a property to buy. So I was either during my free time, which means whenever baby is asleep, I was either on my phone in a park with coffee, trying to catch up with work and business, or stay, obviously up to date with the industry changes and news. Or I was just, doing house viewings, house hunting, looking for a house to buy in London. And then, yes, we bought a house. I was going for all the house viewings with my baby in a pram. Again, very challenging. And then we bought a house in September. We renovated it throughout the winter time and we moved in, and now we are living in our new house now. So yeah, it's amazing. I mean, dreams do come true, but at price.
I completely.
But what? It only makes you stronger. It only makes you stronger. Now, when somebody is someone like, I don't know, let's say my younger sister or friend without a baby, let's say, is complaining to me like I'm tired or whatever, I'm like, oh, darling, no, you probably don't know what tired means. Like, try to look after a newborn, searching for a house to buy, going through a house buying process, going through house renovation, house move with a little baby while trying to run a business or going back to work after maternity. Yes, it is challenging, it is difficult, but with right people, with a right support network, and I would also say with a right, I would say, duties, delegation, even within your family, even with your partner. Obviously, it's important to have a supportive partner, right? But My husband is amazing, so obviously he was very supportive during that period. He would take Clara maybe for Friday afternoon for a few hours, so I could go to the office for a few hours to have a Zoom meeting with somebody. Or maybe on Saturday when he's not working, I was like, okay, can you just please take her and look after her for, I don't know, 3-4 hours? You know, that window whenever I'm not breastfeeding, and I can just quickly pop into my office, even just to reply to a few emails and make a few phone calls. But for me, that was very much needed, even for my sanity, even just to still feel like, okay, I'm not only a mom, I'm also still a businesswoman. You know, I still want to feel important, you know, outside of that mommy's world.
I just think that everything comes at a price, and there's sacrifice, right? There's there should be a pro and con. You know, we all make sacrifices, right? And when I started my business, you know, I didn't think, oh no, I'm going to be so busy and I'm not going to be able to go out with my friends. And I didn't think about the sacrifice when I was starting a business, which is a huge sacrifice. Like the money that has to go into it, the time that goes, you know, if we're looking at business like a baby, then yeah, my feelings were like, oh my God, how am I going to, no, because it felt right. Because I was like,
you follow your intuition, right? You listen to your heart, and you don't really think, because you don't know. You don't. It's like it's exactly the same with having a baby. Like obviously, for when you are a first-time mom, you don't know what it means. You don't know what it involves. You don't know how tiring that will be, but also at the same time how beautiful. You know, the amount of love and joy and happiness that it brings. It's absolutely amazing. That's why I want to kind of like, you know, pass this message to other perhaps women in the industry or in business. You can have it all. You can do it. You can have a baby. You can have a career. You can have a business, or you can run multiple businesses. You can be a happy mom and obviously be just you can have both work and life happiness. Obviously it comes at price, but
yeah, because you've got the nanny, you've got
yes,
you've got help,
yeah.
you've got a team. I don't think a lot of people...
you need the right support network. But I just want to say, if you're gonna just jump into this challenge or new chapter with the right attitude, like we can do it, I will manage, I will find the people, I will find a great nanny, I will I don't know, find either business partner or general manager or just assistant, you know, because obviously you will need to eventually find somebody to delegate to. But if you just jump into it with this right attitude, then you can do it. And at the end of the day, you know, time will pass anyway.
No, exactly. Yeah, you might as... I think you're very similar to me, that I get things done when I'm really busy. And so the busier I am, the more I use that time really wisely. So if I've got an hour, half an hour or 10 minutes, I'm like, right, let's go, go, go. And actually what's really interesting is I don't have any children, but during half term, I noticed that my productivity goes down a little bit because my brokers are on half term, and my clients are on half term, and then there's not events, and I'm like, oh, it's not really busy. Like, it's not like, when I say
because
busy,
other
like,
people are not busy.
But because I've got work to do, like, don't get me wrong, I'm busy, but because it's not like hectic, right? I'm like, my creativity kind of depletes and starts to go down because I'm not surrounded by busyness. So actually, the busier I am and the less time I have, the more wisely I use it. So I love your structure. I love what you've said, that you do need, you know, there might be people listening to this saying, well, I can't afford a nanny and my child has to go to nursery, or I can't afford to go back to work and I don't have a team. You know, that's something I'm going to have to, I mean, I have a team, but they're the ones that are behind the scenes doing the technical work. I am the
obviously
brand.
You are
so
the
sometimes
face to the business.
So that's also difficult. But anyway, I'll work it out, and I'll definitely find a plan, because I know that it is possible. Like, there's people that have...
Darling, trust me, when the time is right for you, you will find the solution, because I believe in our feminine wisdom and power, and like you have it within you, you have it inside you. You will find the solution, and you know it's gonna be what's best for you. You just have to
Yeah.
be like really, really thinking positively about it. And I mean, interestingly, I just want to kind of really comment on what you said about I don't have money for, I cannot afford a nanny, or my child will have to go to nursery. I mean, I'm not sure if you know, but in London, the nursery cost equals nanny cost. So it's almost the same cost.
Yeah, yeah.
Nursery is also very, very expensive. I looked into it. Where we live in West London, is also a huge cost. But at the end of the day, is obviously a personal decision and a decision of each of us, right? But we're gonna do what's best for us. But as women, we are great at multitasking. You know, we can be feeding our baby while being on the phone with a client. At some point, I started taking Clara to my office, even just once a week for 2-3 hours, even just for lunch, and just for me to sit down to my work laptop, even for like 2 hours. I put a play mat on the floor. She was playing on a play mat, and I was making phone calls to my clients. At some point, I'm speaking to an important client, trying to close a sale. And while she was very quiet, she just started, talking and ga, ga, ga in the background.
That's so cute. That's so lovely.
Because obviously we went through a stage when she was quiet, but whenever she heard me on the phone, she started talking too. Almost like, oh, mommy is talking, so I want to.
That's so cute.
I want to join the conversation. So she had that. And I was just feeling, do you know what? My first reaction was like, oh my gosh, so embarrassing. What is he gonna think of me? Because obviously I'm there in my office, trying to be a serious businesswoman. And then in the background, ga, 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 ga. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's my little baby. She's just here with me today. Sorry, she's just so talkative. And I don't know why I started apologizing. And you know what?
Yeah.
There was no need to apologize. His reaction was like, also, you would be surprised with people's reaction. His reaction was so warm, so positive. He was just like, oh yeah, I do have 2 little ones, da, da, da. And then you go into the child talk. Oh, how old is your little one? What's her name? What's his name? Obviously a small child talk, like kind of like a break. And then, right, let's go back to whatever we are talking about.
Yeah, and there's no need to, exactly. I feel like women tend to apologize for the noise. Like, I've got a PA who's got a little baby, and she's like, sorry, that's just Rory's cartoons in the background. I'm like, yeah, there's no need to apologize for what Rory's doing with his life in the background. That's super cute. Absolutely don't mind that.
That's our natural reaction, because we want to be perfectionists, right, at everything. Like whenever I'm speaking to a client, I want to be focused on it and I want to be great at it, and I don't want my baby to go blah 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 blah. But obviously now, thinking about the outcome, whether she will do her blah 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 or not, I'm gonna close that sale anyway, because obviously he's listening to me. He knows, he sees value in my advice and in my time. So it doesn't really matter if your baby is laying on the floor.
No.
Yeah, we can multitask.
Oh, we can. I think the biggest thing, Anna, is getting over that tiredness and functioning when you're actually tired, and when you're actually trying to, keep a baby alive and feed them and run a business. That's where the tricky bit is. And also financially being able to actually make that happen, whether it's getting some care or getting assistance. And, this is, I hope this hasn't been triggering for anybody, but if it has, and you want to have, you want to seek help, whether it's, for protection, or you want to seek help like a coach or money, like really find the right people. Like, this is just Anna's story, guys. Okay. And Anna's story is to be respected and is to be honored, because that is her experience of it. This is not a judgment or we're not forcing anyone to see it our way, right? This is just Anna's experience, and she's been very brave and honest to be able to share something like this so publicly, which does actually take a lot of guts, because you'll find that a lot of people perhaps might want to keep their baby life completely separate to their corporate life. And actually there will be some people that you never even knew they were pregnant because they don't want to tell you. So it is a personal choice what you disclose and what you share. So I want to thank Anna, and I hope all the listeners here today will respect you, Anna, the way I do, that you've shared something so private and so vulnerable, because it is difficult to talk about things like this, even though it shouldn't be. But you've experienced it from your point of view, and you are thriving as a mother and as a businesswoman. And I hope that you do and have found joy in both and the balance in both. And I'm really, really pleased for you, not only as a woman, but as a friend. I'm just so delighted to have found the evidence and the happiness that does exist beyond your maternity leave. So thank you for coming on the show to inspire us all with this. And if you found this show helpful and you're listening to this, and if you are already an existing follower and listener, thank you so much for coming back again to listen to another brave guest. And if you're new and this is the first time you're coming across us, please do give Anna a like. Let's support her show. Let's support her message, because by liking these shows and subscribing, you're actually helping those messages reach a bigger audience. If you want to help more women and you are aligned with that message, please share, please like, and please remember to subscribe so that we have more listeners and more people receiving a message like this, which could genuinely, like, guys, this could genuinely change someone's life. It could be the difference between someone saying, I'm going to go for it, and I'm not. And that can only happen if we hear from wonderful speakers like Anna. So Anna, I'm going to catch up with you offline. But for now, thank you very much for being a guest. I'll put your contact details like LinkedIn and things like that on the show notes. Please connect with Anna. And thank you again for tuning in. Take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Thank you.